All right, Brad. You told me you wrote down like 12 things for college football 26.
I told you I wrote things down.
I wrote things down.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's like, man.
Actually, hold on, real quick.
I kind of smoked a bowl, played some NCAA, and kind of wrote some things down on paper. Is kind of what
I want to pause you. I want to pause you real quick because there was a comment I wanted to go back to. There was a physical therapist who commented back to our conversation about the non-conference scheduling that re-released today, and basically said it was idiotic to add more games and that people shouldn't be trying to make those early schedules harder. They should be trying to make them easier because of injury, and more hard games is stupid. And basically that it's actually better the way they do it now. And more schools should schedule light early so that there are less car crashes. So I thought it was an interesting argument. I said I would present it on the show, see what you think. I get it from both sides for football.
I mean, there's arguments for both sides always, but I think it would be fun to play Kentucky. Really, like, honestly, the only legit like non-con I'd really want to play is Kentucky and Notre Dame. To be honest, like, I could really give less of a fuck if they want to schedule Baylor. Like, I don't care. Like, sure, like, yeah, we'll fucking beat them by 10. It'll be dogfight, but you know, like, I don't feel like you go 11-1 and then you're gonna knock like how we played like Indiana State instead of what? Like the Colorado State? Like who did you want? Like, do you want, like, unless it's like one of the other playoff teams, like I think we beat basically everyone else, like besides the playoff. Like,
well, John brings up a good
Boise State. I think we take care of business anyways. Like
John brings up a good point here. The game simulator had us going 12-0. I'll do you one better, John. Here's some little inside baseball for you. Indiana was the only team in the Power Four that was simulated to go undefeated. So I don't know what I'm supposed to make of that, of an NCAA 14 game with updated rosters being simmed in a vacuum. But it's something. It's not nothing. Only undefeated team.
Hey, like I said, the roster doesn't have any. I try to find a weakness in this team and they don't. And the computer verifies that. In the sense, like, yeah, I'm not going to take that with a grain of salt, obviously, but like, you know, usually
a lot of Tyler Morris.
A computer is usually going to take the most complete team and simulate them to go undefeated. Obviously, that's a one-off. Like, they didn't run like 1,000 simulations, right? Like, you know, an analytics guy, like, you know, we got to have a lot of large numbers, but in a lot of small numbers, it looks, you know, 12-0 is not out of the realm of possibility for Indiana. Let's make that clear. Like, if Mendoza is this top 5 NFL draft pick that some NFL draft guys are talking him to be, the sky is the limit for this team. You know, I'm trying to be like conservative with my like 10-2, 11-1, like trying to be realistic. It's like Mendoza is really, like, we go as far as Mendoza goes. Like, to be honest, the team is so solid. Like, 8 wins is the floor. 9, honestly. 9 might be the floor.
I don't put self-imposed limitations on this team.
Exactly. Like, I saw the stupid like ceiling floor for each team. It's like 5-7, 10-2. Such a lazy thing for Indiana. It's like, I'm gonna make one of those. I'm gonna do 12-0 and 0-12 for every single team. How about that? Here's my graphic. Ha. I'll nail it this year. I'm gonna go 18 for 18. I'm gonna nail it.
40 TDs is in play, SoCal says.
40 TDs is in play. Yeah,
it's in play.
Yeah, it's in play. We are in the window of 40. We can get 40 touchdowns for sure.
All right, college football 26. There's a lot going on in the game, from the uniforms. You have 2 pairs of Hoosier pants, a white and a red that they wore with the all reds with the black outlines. Horrible uniform. You do have the black eye helmet, but only 2 helmets, and then the basic red and white for the jersey. So you're not getting any type of like creative flair for the Hoosiers there. People have their problems with Memorial Stadium. Obviously that didn't get updated this year. We got the coaches in the game, but like I posted on my account on Twitter that like they got Cignetti completely wrong. I think Crimson Quarry actually came over the top with the funniest response with like a Hank Hill quote, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah. With the uniforms, I don't want those red pants or that block eye. Anything
I hate the red
like,
pants. I hate them
get
so
rid of it.
much.
I don't need it until we break out a different. The thing I've been asking for is the white helmets on the road. That's all I've been really asking for. Obviously, if we pay like Penn State, I want the red helmets, but anyone else, we gotta be rocking all whites. Like that is such a clean look. I like the idea of 2 stripes on the pant. I think that's something we can implement moving forward. But still, I still like our look. It's clean, it's classy. It's just red and white, It's just don't no fuss. I don't need any black unless we're doing a full on like Antoine Rendelel throwback type, maybe 90s, with the black helmet and the red and the white pants.
And then like the 49ers logo type IU. I spent an embarrassing amount of time looking for merch with that logo on
People
it.
think that uniform's ugly. I think in a throwback setting, I think that thing would go absolutely dummy lit. I think it would.
I agree. I want to address what something Argaraj just said though. He said if Indiana goes 9-3, is that a huge disappointment given their history? It's not as good as last year, but still really good.
It's not a
would it
disappointment.
be? No, it wouldn't be a disappointment. And it's funny to say that is like you would have a lot of Indiana football fans frustrated.
I would be sad.
And I think rightfully so. Sad. But it would also be like the second or third best season in program history. So like to put it in like it's like I wrote something similar after they lost the college football playoff game. I was like, man, like I'm disappointed, but like take a step back from that, and like that's such a crazy statement.
They go 9-3. The recruiting cycle keeps going on. They can still bring in an insane class in 2020,
and they win a really fun bowl game. Like that's not the end of the world.
They go 20 wins in 2 years, all of a sudden, just out of the blue. Like I mean, people are going to pay attention to that. Obviously, if they go 7-5, it kind of dies down. I don't see that. That is disaster class. That is like, bad injuries happen. We got to stay healthy.
Wins, that would be a disaster.
Yeah, I really like Derek.
Even 8 wins, I'd be a little bit disappointed.
I like our strength coach, Derek Owings, mostly for the fact that besides some season enders last year, we were pretty much week to week very healthy. Week to week, we were like absurdly healthy, and hopefully that continues. I think that's more of a, I don't know if that's a luck thing or a Derek Owings is really fucking good at his job.
I think it's that one because
you see like in their weight trains, they're doing a ton of like stretching stuff. Like they're not just showing them lift. Like I think they do full on seminars of like yoga and stretching just to make sure they're, injury prevention.
He's as good as it gets.
So easily overlooked in a football program. Guys don't take it seriously. That's part of like when I said how they practice, that's everything. That's how they lift. That's how they recover. That's how they stretch. It's how they just do all the little things right, because that's how you get to the league, period. That's the message.
It's not an accident USC wanted and tried to spend a bunch of money to bring him to Southern California.
Yeah.
And Justin Beard is right. We cannot forget about the Bison. It is National Bison Month, actually, still. We are in smack dab right in the middle of National Bison Month.
I wouldn't call it a
shout out to Hoosier the Bison.
Yeah. It would be an over in Vegas. So in that sense, it's a good season. Probably go to a cool bowl. Probably get our first bowl win if we end up going 9. Like we'd be a good 9-3 team. We go 9-3, go to the Outback Bowl. It'll probably be whoever that poor team is by 20. Like that's how that would go. And but yeah, sometimes the chips fall different ways, and you end up 9-3. I mean, just look at Florida State last year. Like they were not a 2-10 team, talent wise. Things just collapsed. And it was just an avalanche. Like they're going to be back this year. Like it's just, these things kind of happen. But with Sig, I feel like we stay on the track better than any other. Like, I saw him on a top 10 coaching list. Like basically, he's just like all those guys in terms of he's going to keep the ship steady. He's going to make sure it's still going straight. Even if we drop early to Illinois, all of a sudden we beat Oregon on the road and we're right back in the rat race. It's really not that. I think.
Yeah, I think Ole Miss isn't a good, like it's actually a horrible comparison. Like Ole Miss is an undisciplined football team. There's plenty of film you can go find.
The amount of
actually the complete opposite of Kurt Signetti. And
to
be honest, and this isn't just me saying this because you said you were a Penn State fan, but like if I'm Penn State, if I'm Ohio State, if I'm Michigan, I'm nervous. I'm very, very, very nervous. He's in these recruiting battles and he's got half the bankroll that these teams do. And he's in the conversation with these kids.
For me, it's the in-game execution, right? Like remember Maryland, first 3 offensive plays, 2 picks from Rourke. What do? They drop 42 points is what they do, actually. Usually when you throw 2 picks on offense, your team's going to stall. They're going to be panicked. Your quarterback's going to be a head case. Was not the case. They focused on getting the run game back, and then that opened the door for Rourke to cook and do his thing. Like they know how to operate. Bringing back both coordinators is so huge, especially for this particular year. Yeah, I'm just, like I said, it's very hard to find red flags with this team. It is very difficult. We got to nitpick. We have a whole, like, we call it out when we're nitpicking, you know? It's like, yeah, I wish we had a quarterback earlier in this 2026. Oh, we only got a quarterback. We didn't get a quarterback till late June. Oh, God.
Here's what we can nitpick, Brad. We can nitpick the fact that Indiana's roster is only like 75% complete for CFB26. There's no Charlie Becker. There's no Davion Chandler.
I have it all written down who they're missing. You want me to run through it?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
First thing, I went through quarterback and then I went down through to the roster, right? Alberto Mendoza, grossly underrated, should be QB2. However, it's acceptable. Not too many people know that. Grant Wilson was brought in to be the QB2. Little do people know Alberto beat him out in spring. Competition still remains. Competition is always open at quarterback in the SIG world until week 1. So, Alberto should probably be a 70 plus because he's on the. I feel like if you're scholarship, you should be 70 plus. I feel like they just gotta.
Well, dude, what is Landino, like a 52?
Like if you're scholarship on a Big Ten team, you're probably 70 plus on EA. But anyways, Black, grossly underrated. I think he was a 72. He should be an 80 plus. That stood out to me. And then there's no Sean Cuono. Who the hell is Hageman and Barker? You know, I wrote down the fake names that they wrote down for all the players. Like,
no Maverick Geske in the quarterback room. No Jacob Bell.
Yeah. They aren't SEC. Oh, I got distracted by the chat again. My bad. Nowakowski. So they put in this fake fullback.
Yeah, I don't. Right? Why wouldn't they just put Nowakowski there?
They should have put Nowakowski. He's legit fullback. He's 6'1", 245. Yeah. Like, yeah, he can play tight end, but that he's like an H-back. Like he can. They should have listed him at fullback and given him tight end traits to where he's still the tight end 2 above Bamba. When you do the depth chart, you know how the ratings change when you're in different positions, things like that.
Yep.
That's just what I would do. Receiver, no Davion Chandler. Who the hell is Pickett and Norwood? These are exact words I wrote down on the paper, by the way. Who the hell is Pickett?
Who are these guys?
Who the hell are those guys? And then there's no Charlie Becker. Kendrick should be a 71 plus. Cooper should be an 85 plus. I think he was underrated. I think he was like an 82. Cooper's got to be an 85. And then in tight end, no Blake Thierry, and then a bunch of randoms. It got to a point where there were so many randoms, I just wasn't going to write down them all. It got to a point. I'm like, who are these fake players? I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Like, if I'm going to run Dynasty, all of a sudden I have this fake person like starting as my, like, we have a fake safety number 75, like rated 75. Like,
that doesn't even exist.
82. He's not even real. He's not even a real person. And then linebacker, no Kamara, no Nelson, no Clark. I mean, they just fumbled the bag. That's like half the room.
Literally.
And then some disrespectful numbers, I thought. Hardy and Jones being 72s, they got to be. Obviously, they're kind of question marks on this team, but I think they're very good. Realistically, Hardy should be a 99. And then
obviously,
Jones,
he's the best football player on the planet.
Hardy's the best football player I've ever seen. True sophomore. He's going to start at linebacker this year. He should be a 99. And then Isaiah Bones-Jones, I mean, he's got to be at least a 78. At least. He's so solid. Special team specialist, ace, whatever you want to call him. Landino at Sam, also egregious rating. Also, I'm going to go back. Jeff
Landino at Sam?
Jeff Utzinger at safety, at 60. Like, dude,
so disrespectful.
It's like people don't even know who the best walk-on linebacker is in the country. It's Jeff Utzinger. No, just kidding. But, I mean, that guy, he's so good. 60 is just egregious. It's egregious. He's got to be at least as a walk-on. He's got to be a 70. Like, he's a walk-on that plays. He's a 70. And then Landino at Sam. That's just ridiculous. I have him listed at D tackle right now on the infamous depth chart. So like he did play a lot of edge last year, but he's gonna be D line. He is D line. He's either edge or like you could make him edge. That's fine. I would have
I
been
want to
okay
just
with
pop
that,
in
but
here for the
he's
people who
active.
haven't been able to see the depth charts yet. The way they have it listed out it's not like right end or left end. It's like edge, right edge, left edge, and then the linebackers. So like they don't even have Landino on the edge. They have him at Sam linebacker. It's
We're not
crazy.
even going into the fact that they have the scheme wrong, even though it does kind of play well.
It
It
does
kind
kind
of
of
does.
play correctly,
It
but the scheme
plays
is they
correctly,
have
but
it
the
as a
scheme is
3-4.
incorrect because they run a 4-2-5, just like basically every single college program in the country is running now. Because the spread, that's the spread effect. You know, you got to run 5 DBs now. Landino at Sam, grossly underrated. Wyatt's at Sam. I wrote that down, but that's kind of acceptable. He's a 3-4 outside linebacker, but he's going to play stand up DN on this team.
Pretty much the
But
same.
he's only a Sam because they have him at a 3-4. The defense is a 3-4. So like that's I wrote acceptable. Like I wrote acceptable next to Alberto Mendoza. I wrote acceptable. I'm insane. That's bad. Louis Moore, grossly underrated. I think he was like a 72.
Disgustingly underrated. Oh my god, horrible.
Disgustingly
Horrible.
underrated. He's got to be a 78 at least.
At least.
No Baldwin. Who is Eric Gillespie? Eric Gillespie's that 75 rated free safety. Like that's got to be Byron Baldwin.
Yeah, it has to
I don't
be.
know what's going on there. No Garrett Reese, no Hollywood Bell, no Zach Smith. One of my darlings, Zachary Smith. And then Bonds at corner, Boykin's at strong safety. I would flip them. They did nail Devon Boykin. He is the slot corner on the team, so they kind of nailed that because that he is going to be the starting rover this year. And then they just neglected special teams. You want to know how? You know, Frankie long kicks, our kickoff specialist, not even on the roster. It's disgusting. It's insane.
Did you see where they listed Mark Langston?
Did I miss that? Is he not at long snapper?
He's listed at tight end.
What?
He's at tight end on the depth.
Is there not like a long snapper like depiction? Like
no, you can like go in and set it in the depth chart, but it's not like a specific position. Tight end, Mark Langston. Shout out to Mark Langston. There was a cool.
Langston. Happy you're back for your 8th year, Mark Langston. Super happy about that. I'm joking. It's like his 6th year, but I should have made it.
He's gonna run a regression on you.
I should have made it more hyperbolic to have you not believe it. Thanks for coming back for your 20th year here at IU, Mark Langston. Thank you so much. He's been long snapping since since pre-Hepner, really.
That's funny. Is that all you had for the players?
That's all I wrote down. Yeah, that's all I got.
Cool. I don't know if you were able to listen to some of the commentary. There's been a lot of the Nico Imalava transfer clips going around, but specifically to Indiana and the bucket game. Oh my God, they nailed the bucket game commentary. They do the whole 67 yards, 66 points, whole fired whole staff. Oh yeah, it is ruthless in the best way possible. It was absolutely incredible. Man. I highly recommend going and kicking the shit out of Purdue. Being the first thing you do on the game.
Imagine being like the super like the 10-year-old Purdue fan that's like,
dude, that's what I was thinking.
I can't wait to play with my favorite team.
A bucket game, like I'm gonna go play my rival.
Oh, it's Indiana, sure. Like let's send it, and then they just open up with that. They're just like, what the heck?
Yeah, what the hell? Purdue had to change its entire football. Had to fire it in embarrassment. Like, oh my God, what's going on here? Did I create this commentary?
Set him a body bag. Oh my goodness.
That's pretty much how it went. It is hilarious. And then the one spot where college football does a good job of like showing respect to the Hoosiers is in college ultimate team. Obviously, it's a very play to win mode, and I have my feelings about that. I'm not the biggest fan of things where it like forces you to spend money to be any good early in the season, but like there's an Aiden Fisher card that's towards the top of the overall rating list that you can get just through like playing the game. And there's I'll be on the lookout for different cards that come out. But yeah, college ultimate team usually does a pretty good job of presenting the Indiana players. So I'll be grinding for that Aiden Fisher for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad he's getting his flowers. You know, remember when that big Pawns card came out last year? At least we're getting the preseason. We're getting preseason cards now. There we go.
Slot corner D'Angelo Pons. Everybody knows that PFF's third best returning corner in the nation. a first round draft pick slot corner for sure. Shout out the whatever. Do you have any closing thoughts, Brad?
Closing thoughts.
Yeah.
SEC is like Muhammad Ali just because you claim to be the greatest. Don't make it so. Man, John, you are the most old school guy I've ever met. I've ever not met. Yeah. You are the most old school guy I've never not met.
Don't worry. When we come to Bloomington, we'll be here.
Low key, is Tyson the GOAT? Is Tyson the GOAT?
No, he didn't do it for long enough. Shout out to Knicks.
Yeah, shout out Knicks. Shout out, oh my God, the Cubs.
Here's my final thought. I got flamed for my cups being like all destroyed last week. I was being made fun of. So I dug around and I was like, I have a bunch of Knicks glasses. So
yeah, I have a couple in my apartment too. They just somehow just appear. It's like I steal them or something from Knicks every time I go there.
Gifts from my roommates. Like I said, I have been teasing an article for 2-3 weeks on this show specifically. That dropped today. You can check that out at vocfb.com. From Purgatory to Powerhouse, the rise of Curt Cignetti's Indiana football. If you have questions like Argraw about where the hell this Indiana Hoosiers team came from and how we ended up from the beginning of the 2024 season through the playoff, go check out that piece. If you just want to be nostalgic and just remember the 2024 season in a bunch of different moments, go check out that piece. And I tried to give it enough of a runway. So we have about 2 weeks before media day starts. And then once media day hits, like we talked about basketball for a long time today. I'm ready to put that on the back burner. We're not talking about
basketball till November, probably.
Yeah.
Game 1.
Yep. And we're done talking about before Cignetti times too. Like I love Coach Tom Allen. I wish him nothing but success at Clemson, and like as a person, like I'm quoted as saying, like,
see them in Natty this year. That's kind of cool.
I didn't want to be the person to write the fire Tom Allen piece because the guy just means too much to me. But like this is Curt Cignetti's Indiana football, and so I'm ready to focus on that moving forward. You can follow us on Twitter at IndianaVOCFB. Please like, comment, share, subscribe on YouTube. Shout out to Jackson Johnson. I saw him post this in the chat earlier. We are 87 subscribers away from 500. We're chasing that down before the season. Obviously, be on the lookout. We're releasing clips of this live show throughout the week. You can follow Brad on Twitter at Bradley_Loomis8. You can follow me at Alec Keyser. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter. And we're available wherever you get your podcasts. Again, vocfb.com. Appreciate everybody hanging out. I appreciate everybody sitting through the hour of basketball. I also very much appreciate the fact that we were getting blasted to go talk about football. Warms my heart.
Let's respect that moment again. That was beautiful.
That was awesome. Wow,
we really
that was awesome.
It was a Penn State fan that was kind of pissed, but it was like, it's like, hey,
Blanket Sky was in there asking about Ronell Johnson and like, when are we going to hear about these 4 stars committing, because this is a big deal and we need to be talking about this stuff. And to be honest, they're right. Like so that's why it's like we spent some time looking back and looking forward, and now we're getting ready to live in the moment. So I appreciate everybody for watching. Appreciate everybody for hanging out. Brad?
Closing thought. I finally got it. I think we're going to look back on this week with Ronell Johnson and Walker Bryson committing, and we're going to look back on this week very fondly. We're going to be like, remember when those all Big Ten guys recruited in the same week? That was sick.
It did feel like that was kind of a moment. I do agree. Check out my article, vocfb.com. 3,000 words. 3,000 words. We appreciate you guys. We'll be back next week. Go Hoosiers. Oh, don't worry, PK. The goal it's an alternating goal. But we will see you guys next week. 500 subs by the start of the season, and then hopefully pushing well past that. That's
the goal is too low. Well, we got to start somewhere, you know? We were at like 35 when we took over this channel. Anyways.
Appreciate you guys. See you next week.